I've been married a couple of times and been to a few weddings, and my brother and I used to DJ at wedding receptions and stuff. Darwin wanted to start taking pictures, and so we rounded up my parents and we took pictures of just me and my family. My friend Sally from the church took a couple pictures of all four of us together, and that was nice. Time went on. I got to be about 5:30. Julie still wasn't there. The praise band started doing a little concert just to give people something to do, and and certain individuals who I'm not going to name, and I'll tell you why later. Well, first of all, because I just don't want to be mean and name names, but certain individuals kept pacing around, and where's Julie? Why isn't she here? Have you called her yet? What if this happened? What if that happened? But, again, I had prayed to God and said, whatever goes wrong, let me face it with humor. And I was. I mean, Julie was a half hour late, and I'm like, okay, whatever. She's going to be here. I know she's going to be here because God wants us to get married, and why would He not let her show up at the wedding? So finally I let people talk me into calling her, which I didn't really want to do because I don't like using my cell phone that much. So I went outside the church, and I saw somebody out there one of the people who had been bugging me was kind of followed me out there. So I just called up Julie, and I got her voicemail, and I said, hey, it's me. I don't know if you remember this or not, but we had something to do at the church tonight. There's a little get together here, and you're not here yet, and so if you have time tonight, could you please maybe just drop in for a little bit? And I just hung up, and I'm like, I thought that was funny. And then by then Pastor Jim was there, our pastor, and I went and hid out in his office for a while because people were just driving me nuts, and like, Jim, I just need to hide out here for a while. So he and I just kind of chit-chatted for a little bit and had some good times, and then Julie's dad wandered in, and my dad wandered in, and they were both like talking to the pastor as well. And pastor's telling them all the facts and figures of all the wonderful things that our church has done. Like nearly $500,000 worth of food and medical equipment has gone out to the elderly in our county in the last year and 4 months, which I think is pretty incredible for such a tiny little church of less than 100 people. So, so I got up and wandered around the church some more, and pretty soon it was like getting to be 6 o'clock, and Julie still wasn't there. Finally, Julie called, and what had happened, there was an accident over by North Liberty. She was down in Iowa City, and there was an accident by North Liberty, which is it's close to Iowa City. It's on the way. Anyway, it wasn't a big accident. No, Julie wasn't in it. And nobody was really seriously hurt or anything like that in the accident. But it did tie up traffic, so she was stuck in traffic. And so I, started telling people, oh, she's okay. She's just, stuck in traffic because of this accident. And so the wedding was supposed to start at 6, as I mentioned, and we were supposed to have pictures done at 5, and it had to be 6:30 before she showed up. But she finally did show up, and she looked beautiful. And so we quickly, this dress was incredible, but they kept fussing with it. So and we finally got around, and she finally was ready to go. So Pastor and I walked up front. Then Julie came up with her dad and her son. They gave her away. Hopefully I'll be able to show you the video of the wedding. I'm just gonna hit some of the highlights of the wedding. I was worried because I did have some major lines that I was supposed to do in this thing. Like, in 2 places I had some major vows to do. And I'm an emotional guy. I cry very easily. I may even cry sometime in this vlog. I just about did a few moments ago. But I was like, that was another thing. I was like, dear God, let me get through my vows without crying, because sometimes I get so emotional I can't even talk. And I'm like, ugh. So I was worried that was going to happen. That was my only real worry about the whole night, was I was going to start crying so hard that I wouldn't be able to talk. But there's a couple of times when I got really choked up, but I just took a deep breath and plugged on, and I got through it. We did some really cool little things that I hadn't. Well, we did the whole candle thing, where each one of us takes a candle and we light another candle, and it took forever to get the candle lit, so that was kind of frustrating. But then we did this thing. This was kind of cool. I don't know where Julie found this out, but she said that in the Old Testament times, in Jewish culture, they used to carry pouches of salt around, and when they'd make a deal with each other, they'd each take like a pinch of salt and drop it in each other's pouches, and then they'd say, okay, if you want to break the deal with me, you have to take your grains of salt back. So, in other words, you can't break a deal with me because it'd be impossible to take just your grains of salt back. So, what we did, we had this little heart-shaped vase thing and a little container of salt, and we each poured some salt in. She poured some salt in, then I poured some salt in, and we shook it together so that, we can't ever divorce because we can't get our salt back out. We have the vase, and I should have showed it to you in this thing. Maybe I'll show it next time. Let's see, we also did communion. She spilled. I was trying to feed her we had croissant for the bread. I don't know why it was a croissant instead of bread, but I was trying to feed it to her, and got all crummy, went down into her cleavage. And then she was trying to drink the communion grape juice. That spilled down in her cleavage. I think I'm the only one that, myself and the pastor, and I guess Amy, who was playing keyboards and singing, saw it, and we kind of got a little chuckle. And nobody else really saw it, but then Julie went around and told everybody, so. And and then I should mention that her parents had gathered up all the gifts and cards and whatnot, but they had accidentally taken, and it wasn't their fault, it was probably my fault because I should have taken this out.